So a couple of weeks ago, I woke up and my throat was feeling a little bit scratchy, and I guess it sort of turned into what you are hearing today. I sound a lot worse than I feel, so please excuse my, I don't know, my impersonation of RFK Jr. But today I want to give you two big reasons to pay close attention to my recent conversation with Beth Wells. She is the managing partner from the Burdge Wells Law Firm, the RV lemon lawyers. First, if you own an RV or if you just, I guess, spend time around them, it is super important that you stay on top of the RV safety recalls. Every week, every single week, the Burdge Wells Law Firm publishes a simple, easy to read list of newly announced RV recalls affecting RVs from across the industry. They also include trucks and SUVs. Now, these are not little things, like a loose cabinet door or a piece of trim falling off. We're talking about serious safety issues like wiring that can cause fires, maybe exhaust leaks that can lead to carbon monoxide poisoning, weight capacity labels that are just flat out wrong. Like I said, these are really big issues, and they're posted every single week on their Facebook page. We also share them in many of our RVing Facebook groups. Now, if you're on Facebook, be sure and follow the Burdge Wells Law Firm, because you never know when the next RV recall will affect your RV or someone that you care about. Second, if you think that you might have a lemon RV or you're dealing with, an issue that just can't get fixed, you need to take action sooner rather than later. The good news is you can get a free evaluation from an actual lemon lawyer by visiting rvlemonlaw.com. We'll go ahead and put it up on the screen along with the QR code down here that you can scan with your mobile phone. And we'll do that a couple of times during today's interview. Once you get to the webpage, it'll take you just 2 minutes or so, and that could save you months or even years worth of headaches. All right, here's that recent chat with Beth. Again, forgive my horrible voice. Let's talk about the RV recalls, these safety recalls, because for years, your firm has been putting out these, what they call them Monday morning recalls.
Right.
I think that most people don't even read them. I'm not trying to be negative. It's like, I don't even, they'll let me know. I bought it from the dealer. They'll let me know if there's a recall. That may not be the smartest thing to do. And so talk to me about those recalls and why I should pay attention maybe to the notices that you guys put out on social media.
Yeah. So just in particular, this last Monday, I noticed that there were, I believe, like 3 separate wiring related recalls that all indicate in the recall that they could result in a fire. So that's particularly concerning. One relates to Airstreams, another to Forest River RVs, and another to Keystone. So they're all slightly different issues, but they're all wiring related and all indicate that a risk of fire.
How do those recalls come about? Does that mean the Airstream and whoever else you named, does that mean that somebody that owns one of those has actually had a fire? Or, how do those things come about?
My understanding is that just basically means they're realizing that they have like a known issue. And once it gets to a certain level, they have to let NHTSA know. And then at that point, they notify owners. So you can actually get on the website and see the recall notice. But for any of these, the owners have not been notified yet. So that's a little bit concerning too. So if you're not keeping up with the information that NHTSA sends out, you could be using an RV that has a wiring issue or may have a wiring issue that could cause a fire, but you might not get notice of it for another month.
And if I happen to own one of those RVs, even if I'm not the original owner, should the manufacturer through a dealer cover the repair to that recall item?
Yes. Yeah. So for instance, the Airstream issue, but that one, the sofa footrest switch was underrated, which could allow for it to overload. And so the fix for that one is to install a reverse relay on the sofa switch assembly, and that would be done free of cost.
And I've noticed on some of the notices that you guys post, the RVs are not new RVs. Some of them are, they date back 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. And so these notices come up, these recalls come up not just on brand new ones, but they can go back.
Yeah. So for this Airstream in particular, the furthest back RV that it goes to is the 2021 Classic 33 foot. So all the way from 2021 to 2025. If you look at the recall, it'll indicate like which make or model that it applies to, so you could know whether or not you should be concerned. But if you're keeping an eye on like the NHTSA recalls when they get issued, or following us on our Monday morning recalls, if you have one of those vehicles that might be subject to one of the recalls, you're going to know about it much earlier than you would if you just waited for the notice.
Yeah, especially if you're not even the original owner of the thing. You bought it from somebody else. You may not ever be notified. So, I think it's a good idea. If I own an RV or I know somebody that's got an RV, just check out those recall notices on a regular basis. It won't take you 2 minutes and go, oh my, and you may say, oh my God, my friend's got a Jayco fifth wheel with a possible whatever problem.
Yeah, for instance, the Airstream one we were just talking about, owner notification letters are expected to be mailed May 4th.
A couple of things that I noticed in recent recalls. One of them was on motorhomes, and I can't remember the brand specifically, but it was something that it was like the exhaust, the tailpipe, the tip of the tailpipe wasn't long enough. It wasn't supposed to long enough to get the carbon monoxide fumes away from the RV. So you maybe have one of these motorhomes and you're letting it run, you're sitting inside and you're getting coated with carbon monoxide.
Yeah, so that was issued, that came out on March 10th, and it was for 9 different models of REV RVs, ranging from 2022 to 2025. And the issue is that according to REV, the exhaust tip may become detached, allowing exhaust fumes and carbon monoxide to enter the cabin.
And you wouldn't even know it if you weren't reading these recalls.
Oh, no. And then, so the fix they have is to install a clamp to keep, I guess, that exhaust tip in place, free of charge. But as far as like notification to owners won't receive notification until after April 26th.
So they should be receiving the notification. But again, if you're not an owner of it, or you're not the original owner of it, you may never receive that. And you could be driving around with a motorhome and potential carbon monoxide poisoning.
Right.
And this is what I'm talking about. We share your Monday morning recalls across our Facebook groups. And I think that they are such a benefit to RVers, but only if they will read them.
Right.
Hello. And usually it's people have accidents. It's like, gosh, where were you before the accident? I was here. It's just you weren't here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. And there was another one about overloading. The sticker that the manufacturer put on. You remember that one? And we don't have to go into exactly.
Yeah, it's a Jayco.
But it was like on fifth wheel models. But that's a major thing because people have a tendency anyway to overload their RV. I think they do.
Yeah, the one, I'm not sure if we're talking about the same one, but there was one that was just issued for Jayco for a couple Jayco and Integra units, those ranging from 2024 to 2025, but they had the incorrect sticker, so it could result in the vehicle being overloaded. I feel like a main issue with that is there are a lot of people who take a look at the capacity when they decide to purchase an RV because they know what they're going to need it for. So if someone really considered that the capacity, like the weight capacity of the RV and making the decision to purchase, and then they're overloaded, that could be a huge problem. They might not even be able to use it for what they intended to use it for.
Is that something that I would, if I were one of those owners, and they were mistaken on the weight carrying capacity, could I contact your office? You've had those. I know you've had those kind of claims before where people were not able to put even full tanks of fuel and water and 50 extra pounds, and they were overweight. Is that something?
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can contact us. You can contact any attorney like in your state if you got an issue with it. It's definitely a major concerning issue, especially if you considered that weight in your decision to purchase.
I interviewed a gentleman not long ago that had that issue, but he didn't know he had the issue until he got a letter from, I don't even want to say the brand because I'm not exactly positive, but he got a letter with a sticker, and he was told to go put this sticker over the sticker that's inside your motorhome. And I'm thinking, that don't sound right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, overloading can cause some serious issues, frame damage. I mean, you don't want to be driving.
Blowouts.
Yeah. You don't want to have it. You don't want to be driving that or pulling it overweight.
There are so many, I mean, every time I'm driving, I'm seeing RVs. It's just, maybe they just jump out at me, but I can't tell you what percentage, but it's probably almost half. I look at them and they're so overloaded. I mean, like,
Or they're like leaning to the side.
I mean, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And they're doing 75 or 80 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Let me either get way back behind them or pass them real quick because, they just look like an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah.
So what kinds of things are you seeing nowadays that are coming in that are getting your attention? Are you still seeing any of the broken frame issues, the Grand Design problem?
Yeah, we're still getting people in for sure with the frame flex issue.
Are you, I guess, accumulating people, or have you got an approach yet because you may already know this, but Grand Design, in my view, they want to say that they're attacking the problem. They're, recognizing it, but I think they're just kind of hoping it goes away because the warranty that they are extending, the fine print in that warranty, again, you're the lawyer, I'm not, but it just seems so burdening to the owner about getting your thing repaired. I'd still be hesitant. I know there are RV dealers out there that won't take a Grand Design as a trade-in just for the basic possibility of having a liability claim against them.
Yeah, I mean, giving a longer warranty when you really can't fix it doesn't really do much for people, unfortunately.
Yeah, so what's going to happen? I mean, are you still going to be pursuing those cases? I mean, looking at each one?
Yeah, I mean, we tend to pursue things individually as opposed to class action, just like a decision to handle it that way. Just in my opinion, it gives, it can result in like a better result for the individual. So that's kind of how we focus our cases.
Yeah, but if you hear brand X and you got a problem, and all of a sudden you start hearing more of those, now you have a really good idea, but you still handle those individually, right?
Yes.
Help me out here. I've got in the last few weeks, I've had a couple of emails and phone calls from people that I've interviewed, and they've actually had buybacks. I mean, they've told me, they got a buyback. They said they didn't say they got a buyback. They said, we can't talk with you anymore about it. I said, so you got a buyback. We can't talk anymore about it, but thank you so much for doing an interview with us. And to me, I think that is so disingenuous. I understand why manufacturers do that because they want to quiet people down. But isn't that doing the consumer a disservice? Because, I was so proud. I interviewed this one person that literally, I mean, they told me things and at the end of the interview, I said, are you sure that we're able to? Oh yeah, I'm positive. And I said, well, go double check your paperwork. Well, I signed a release with them. They contacted me and they said, please don't run it. Please don't run it because I'm not allowed to say anything. I guess it's you're used to that, right? I mean, that manufacturers requiring that of people.
It's pretty standard.
But how do they get away with that?
I guess maybe if it's not necessarily an option, otherwise people have to make that decision whether they want to resolve their case at that amount or not. So
I guess it's the same with you. I mean, when your law firm gets a settlement with whoever and settles a case, it's like, everybody be quiet, that we did the best we could, and we can celebrate, but be quiet about it. Don't go public.
Yeah, I mean, confidentiality goes both ways too, and so, I mean, if the parties agree to it, then kinda you have to abide by it.
Are you seeing more, less, or about the same number of people that are contacting your law firm with issues on their RVs as compared with, I don't know, 5 years ago, 20 years ago when you started?
I would say, I mean, the practice has grown significantly, in the last 10 years, so definitely, um, more recently, we're getting a lot more people calling in about problems.
Yeah, but manufacturers, some of them are extending their warranties. They've gone from 1 year to 2 years. They've got, structural warranties. Some manufacturers 3-year structural and 5-year this and that. And um, so evidently they're still trying to cover themselves. And so it seems that they're giving more service, more warranty to the consumer, but you keep getting these lawsuits, people with bad RVs.
Yeah, I mean, I know Grand Design, that frame warranty, the 5-year frame warranty, um, but for the most part, everyone's staying pretty much the 1 year. I know a couple different vehicles have, like, a 2-year warranty, but, um, we're still seeing, like, for the most part, a 1-year warranty.
We have talked before about people, exclusions and ways manufacturers get out of paying a claim and just, you broke the rules. And a big one is full timers, people that live full time in their RV.
Right.
Um, I'm seeing more and more people deciding to live full time.
Oh,
And
you are?
I mean, a lot of people are selling their, as they say, sticks and bricks, living full time, and that could really jeopardize them if they have some kind of a serious warranty issue.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's a couple units that specifically allow for full-time use, but most nowadays are not permitted.
And even
They're
if
usually
the dealer,
excluded from warranty coverage.
I've heard so many dealers or stories that the dealer says, "Look, don't say anything. Just, you guys live full time. Don't worry about it. A lot of people do this. If you have an issue, come back to us." But that I would think that would come back to bite them if they do have an issue because it's not hard to disprove. Um,
Yeah, I mean, it really does come back to bite them, but just from what I see, and I might be seeing it from a different viewpoint, but from what I see, it really comes back to bite them when they try to assert their rights and they hire an attorney.
when people go to your website and they go to rvlemonlaw.com and they want a free evaluation, so they fill out all their information. Um, how do I frame this? So I don't get quite the kind of people that you do, but I get a lot of emails and I will respond and I'll say, send me the high particulars. And I kind of took from your website, when did you buy it? Where did you buy it? Blah, blah, all these different things, and send this information to me. And then they just ghost me. They'll either ghost me and, oh, that's too much work. Yet they'll feel like they were, mistreated by the RV manufacturer, but they won't take the time to put things down in writing. And I tell them, I said, look, if you're going to pursue legal action, you're going to need to do this anyway.
Yeah,
Right?
correct.
I mean, because you don't even know where to start without them providing you that information.
Right, you need the sales paperwork, the repair orders. If the repair orders don't have, like, they don't tell the whole story, or the dates are wrong, you need, like, a diary kind of going through the actual timeline. Um, the warranty, you definitely need a copy of the warranty. I mean, and that's a lot of stuff for people to collect, I know.
It is, and if they don't do it though, it's a problem. And I tell them, I say, look, just give me the high points. Don't give me everything. Just give me enough. No more than 2 pieces of paper, little bullet points. When did the first problem happen that was serious? How did you report it? Those kind of basic things. And they'll send me 30 pages, 50 pictures, and
Single
then they'll
space
mix
type.
that never happens to you, does it? It's okay. You can say yes, it happened.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know about 50 pages, but
Yeah. Well,
if
I
it
mean,
is single space, yes.
and the other thing is that when people have issues, I suggest that they try to figure out, okay, let's compartmentalize. Are these petty things that the trim is vibrating off versus I've got a plumbing leak in the bathroom, a water leak somewhere. Don't mix those minor with major things. keep them separated. And I know that they're annoying to the owner, but to you, the lawyer who's trying to help them, it's got to be discombobulating.
Yeah. Especially seeing a copy of that warranty, because as I've said, a lot of times your rights are limited in the warranty. So if there's like a clock ticking and we're near the date, we need to know.
If you had one piece of advice for RV owners that, let's do it this way. If you had one piece of advice for people that are buying a new RV, they're obviously their fingers and toes are crossed that they got a good one, but what would that advice be to protect themselves for the future? What would you suggest they do?
Read your warranty and document everything. And when you have issues, get it in writing and communicate both with the dealer and the manufacturer in writing.
All right. So as I mentioned in the intro, there are really two key takeaways here. First, stay informed. Recalls like the ones that Beth and I were just talking about are issued every single week. Many of them are quite serious, and many of them are on RVs that are several years old, not just brand new ones. So don't wait around, as they say, to get a postcard in the mail, because you know what? It might never come. Follow the Burdge Wells Law Firm Facebook page and watch for what they call Monday morning recalls. It just could make the difference between a safe trip and a preventable disaster. Second, if you think your RV might be a lemon, don't wait around hoping for the problem to, I don't know, magically fix itself. You can get a free legal evaluation from an actual experienced lemon law attorney at rvlemonlaw.com. The sooner you act, the more options that you may have. I know I can sound like a brokered record when I say this, but don't just sit around and hope that your dealer or manufacturer will do the right thing. Take control, get informed, and don't let them wear you down with delays and runarounds and all the finger pointing they can do. Thanks for watching today. I'm the RV Wingman, reminding you to be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home. I think I'm going to go out and make a hot cup of coffee. Hopefully it'll make my throat feel a little bit better. Bye-bye, everybody.